Today, on Be Something Wonderful, creating reality with your attention, suspending disbelief. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators and members, welcome back. Big video this morning. This comes from a follow-on session that I had with a client. I hadn't spoken to her for several weeks. And this is what she reminded me of. At the time, this was a specific person situation. They hadn't talked in months. And she said, Tom, I just want to talk to him. I just want to have a conversation, and nothing has happened. She's been imagining that, right? And what she's been imagining, though, she's been imagining on what they're going to talk about and how it's going to go and what it might result in. I said, drop all of that, right? And she was really having trouble believing it would happen. It's been so long, right? And there was just no evidence to her. And I said, suspend disbelief and just focus on, put your attention on you having a conversation, and you guys, not about what you're having a conversation, that you're just laughing and smiling and enjoying yourselves. That's all. Do that. Put your attention on that. Suspend disbelief and do that. She writes several weeks later. It's been several weeks now, maybe about 6 or 7 weeks. I'm not sure exactly. But they ran into each other. And almost at the same time, they said something like, can we talk, or can I talk with you? And they both busted out laughing. It was the scene. It was the scene. This is what we're talking about. Her attention, her focus was on the details of the conversation or where it's going to go from there. She shifted her attention within. And it happened. And it's about, remember, looking for evidence outside makes no sense. You are reality. You are the light. You are the light. You're looking at reality as reality, right? As I've talked about many times, you're like a lighthouse searching for your own light. You're looking at what you're looking at, you're looking with, right? And remember when his disciples said they couldn't get rid of the demon out of that boy. And they said, why couldn't we do it? And Jesus just simply says, because of your unbelief. Simple, right? If you have the faith of a mustard seed, remember, say to this mountain, move, and it will move from here to there, and nothing will be impossible to you. We've talked about mustard seed in many different ways. But the whole idea is a mustard seed knows what it is. It knows it's a mustard plant. It knows within it is all the plan of fulfillment. It knows that it has everything. It is everything. That's what we're talking about here. Seth, through Jane Roberts, you sit within the miracle of yourselves and ask for signs. It's your inner eyes that I would open. In other words, you sit in the miracle of your attention, of your awareness, of your consciousness, asking, where is my light? Where is the conversation? When's this going to happen? Suspend disbelief, right? It's your reality is you believe in disbelief. That's what your reality is, right? You really believe in your disbelief. So you just keep creating disbelief. And I didn't even think one of you wrote on the channel that, okay, Tom, so if that's true, I can sit on my couch and imagine what I want, then all things are possible, and that should happen. Yes, but now you're creating a reality of saying, I'm going to purposely sit on my couch and prove it to me, reality. Prove it. And you just create a reality of trying to prove things. The reality mirror just goes, yeah, prove it. It looks back right at you and says, yeah, prove it. Do you see that, right? You create a reality where you believe in disbelief. And that's all you see, things that you disbelieve. This is big here, right? I want you to remember, just as like my clients are, 3D conditions are changing while you're looking at them, right? There is no power in disbelief. There's no power in doubt. There's no power in saying, prove it to me. There's no power in that because you are reality, right? And I think one of you came up with this really wild scenario of cause and effect, right? Well, if that's true, if A causes B and B causes A, then if this happens, then this should create this, and all of that. You're just tangling yourself up in your own disbelief, right? There's no power in disbelief. There's no power in doubt. Whether you believe it or not, there's no power in it. 3D conditions are changing while you're looking at them, will you believe it or not? Your reality is happening with your attention awareness, will you believe it or not? But when you believe it, life becomes a playground. Life becomes magical, where you can be, do, or have whatever your heart desires. You don't have to believe it, but when you do, it opens up the miracle of who you are, right? So when you don't, though, when you don't believe, you create the illusion that you are a victim of circumstances, a victim of life, that life happens to you and not through you. That's big. So let's hit it here. When you say, prove it to me, whether it's verbally, whether it's you're in a speech, or your view of the world, you create a reality, a perception of a world of disapproval. Hear this, right? As soon as my client moved from wanting proof, wanting to see that, focused on the inner details of the conversation or it not happening, as soon as she just introduced the idea, suspended disbelief, and introduced the idea of laughing and smiling and just talking, but not about anything specifically, that opened up everything. It opened up her whole perception of reality, right? Otherwise, you're just creating a reality or a perception of disapproval, right? The world is always in a state of proving, but never revealing what you want. That's all you disbelievers. All you prove it to meers. Right? Prove it to meers. Yeah, you're always creating a state of proving, but never revealing what you want. That's why believing, not what, why believing is seeing. There's no reality for you outside of what you believe. There's just no reality outside of what you believe. You are always looking into and out from that dual reality mirror. So when you're looking in with your arms folded and saying, prove it to me, the mirror looks back at you and says, yeah, prove it to me. Do you see? It's crazy. Reality won't smile until you do. You won't see what you desire to see until you believe it. Until you introduce that crazy idea that all things are possible, right? There's no outside world, people, events, and circumstances outside of your belief, thoughts, and assumptions, or in other words, outside of your attention, outside of your focus. Nothing is outside of your focus, of your attention, right? So whatever you say, assume, believe, and put your attention on, put your focus on, put your light on, you are right. There's only one source, and that source is good. It's perfect. God is all. Go back to that thought, right? One source. Everything's perfect, and it will be. There's only light and love. Everything else is a figment of your imagination. So it is all mind. You can imagine whatever you want, but if you imagine in disbelief, that's what you're going to get. There's only love, there's only source, there's only light, right? Because I think one of you mentioned, I think it's all just a figment of my imagination. Well, it is. So you get to decide what it is. If everything's imagination and everything's a figment of it, then you get to decide, because there's only love and light that you can shape into anything you want, right? The only question is, where is your attention? Where's your light? Where's your awareness? Where's consciousness now? Where is your attention? Where your attention is your entire life experience. Hear this. Wherever your attention is in any moment is your entire life experience. It's your entire reality. Wow! As soon as we move this client's attention to just the conversation of laughing and smiling, and not the conversation itself, just that idea, that's what she created. So your attention, your light is beyond time and space. It can be anywhere, and it's all time, and it can be anything. And where your attention is where you are, or what you are. That's powerful. The world mirror doesn't reflect what you want or need. You can stand in front of that world mirror all day long with your arms folded, and nothing's going to change. It reflects that which you have your attention on that which you have your attention. That's what it reflects. The world doesn't reflect what you want or what you need. It doesn't look, oh, you need this or you want this. It reflects on that which you have your attention on. What are you looking for? You're looking with. What you're looking for, you're looking with. I've talked about this in several videos now. You're like a lighthouse, right? That light is who you are. What you're looking with is who you are. You're looking with your awareness, with your light. If it's disapproval, if it's prove it to me, that's what you're looking with. And you're only going to see circumstances that need to be proven, right? You can see what you are. You can't see what you are, right? You're seeing with your light. You are your light. It's like the light in the refrigerator that I've talked to many times. You want to prove that that light shuts off when you shut the door. But you open up the door and the light comes back on. You never get the proof. You've got to be inside the refrigerator. You've got to go within. That's where your proof is. It's within, just like the refrigerator light, right? Consciousness equals reality equals awareness equals attention. Your attention determines what is perceived and received and what isn't. It determines all of it. What you give time, space, and attention to is your reality. You give it time, 3D time, you give it space. You give it the 3D space. You give it attention. And that is what creates reality. It all comes from you. Your light, your consciousness gives it life or light, right? Or love. Woo, what you give love to is life or attention. And that's reality. That's big. What you no longer look at or give your attention to ceases to be. It ceases to exist as your reality. When you stop looking, it stops being. For you, right? And that's all that matters. It's your reality, right? Try it for the next 48 hours. Bend 3D conditions like my client did by putting your attention on what you want and even with things you don't want. Start moving your attention around within to what you don't, and even play with things you don't want and watch that happen. Start getting creative control. Go back and forth. Start really seeing that power within. That's creating with reality with your attention. That's suspending disbelief. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators and members, thank you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for turning on your notification button so you never miss a video. Thank you for considering joining the membership channel, which is open to you. Thank you for just being here. Thank you for considering joining the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors on Facebook. It's an open group where you can share insight and guidance at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. Thank you for following us on Facebook and Twitter at Tom Karen, and just thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. With great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom. Until next time, see you soon.